Good morning. My name is Nia Black, and beside me is Alia Henry, and we are students at Eastern Arizona College. On behalf of Eastern Arizona College Associated Students and Black Student Union, I would like to welcome you to our Black History celebration, and thank you for attending.
We are here today to celebrate the achievements made by African Americans and to recognize their central role in U.S. history. Today's celebrations coincide with Black History Month, which has been held every February since 1976. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Jasmine Perry.
After the pledge, Jerry Lukens, an evaluation specialist with EAC, will read the college diversity inclusion statement. Now please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The definition of diversity and inclusion at Eastern Arizona College. Diversity encompasses the vast differences that occur within our society. Together, we must respect and appreciate these differences and recognize the value of varying perspectives and the unique contributions of each individual. Inclusion is the act of being welcoming, fair, and respectful to all.
We would now like to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Herman Andrews. Herman Andrews' mother came from Louisiana and his father's family came from Marshall, Texas. He was born 1968 in his parents' home on B Street in Little Hollywood. His grandmother delivered him and all 10 of her grandchildren, along with over 30 other kids. Little Hollywood was a Black and Hispanic community close to the Gila River. His family was displaced in 1972 when the flood swept through the community.
Mr. Andrews attended Safford High School, where he was a four-sport athlete. He was all-state in football and wrestling and was on the state championship track and field team. After high school, he attended Western New Mexico University to play football and run track. There, he led the nation in punt and kickoff returns. Mr. Andrews still holds the freshman touchdown record of 14 at Western New Mexico University. He was inducted into the Western New Mexico University Athletic Hall of Fame for football. Mr. Andrews married his high school sweetheart, Joanne, and they have been married for 31 years. They have 2 sons, Tyrell and Trey, and 3 granddaughters. We are honored to hear from Mr. Andrews, and will now take the time and turn over to him.
My name is Herman Andrews. I was born and raised here in Safford. My driving force has been my biggest mentor, and that's my father. He's a coach for Safford High School. He coaches football, not anymore, but he started off coaching football. He started off with track and field, both boys and girls. I got to follow him around the state, listening to him coach to young people, touching their lives, helping them get to places where they can be successful. He is the winningest coach in the nation. He has 27 state championships, boys and girls, for track and field. I also was part of, I don't know if any of you would know this, but Norma Bellamy, she was one of the winningest volleyball coaches in the country. She has 35 state championships. Those were all from Safford High School. So as part of our school history, when we first got here, when my dad graduated from Safford, he went on to Grand Canyon. He graduated from Eastern Arizona College, went on to Grand Canyon. He was drafted by the Giants for baseball from Grand Canyon. A little story about that. He only lasted for 1 week in the Major League because they told him they fly everywhere. And coming from a small community, no joke, coming from a small community, he told them, I'll take my signing bonus and go back home. So he literally took his signing bonus, which at that time was $5,000, and came back to Safford to teach and coach. So I think I've gotten him on one plane trip, and that's when we went to go to Santa Barbara to play a football game. And that's only because that trip was an hour in the air. So he has been the driving force for a lot of the stuff that goes on in my family. And my family has a strong history of competitive sports. My son, Tyrell, he's my oldest boy. He's 31. He is a 2-time state champion in wrestling, a 2-time state champion in baseball, all from Safford. He broke his scapula when he was a sophomore, or he would have been a 3-time state champion in wrestling. My youngest boy, Trey Andrews, he was Safford's first 4-time state champion in wrestling. He went on to wrestle at Northern Colorado, where he now holds the most wins. It'll be broken because they got some outstanding freshmen, but he has the most wins at the school right now. He's a 4-time high school All-American. Tyrell is a 3-time high school All-American. I think the only looking back, my sister, her name is Tammy. In our family, my immediate family, she was the only one that actually didn't perform or didn't do anything in college sports. And that's because she was raising her family. So in high school, she was second in state in the high jump. She played volleyball for Miss Norma Bellamy back before the libero and all that good stuff. And then for Safford, a little history on how we got started at Safford. When we were over in Little Hollywood, in our little community in Little Hollywood, we have what they called a schoolhouse. It was no bigger than that right there. And you have all the neighborhood kids would go to that school, and we would beat Safford. We smashed Safford. We smashed everybody. And I say we because I'm part of that community, but I was not even born yet. So I'm still saying we. So what happened was Safford decided that they were going to invite those kids to the high school. So when Safford diversified and had all those kids come over to the high school, that's when Safford started putting up the state championship numbers. That's when the colleges start coming around to get some of those athletes that were beating people. You have like Claude Smith. I mean, you have some outstanding people that you wouldn't know who they are, but they all came out of that little community of Little Hollywood. And you can sit Little Hollywood probably on the other side of this building to those houses. From that building to that, it's really small. But we were all packed in adobe houses. My grandma used to tell us that we could check the temperature outside from inside the living room. Reason why is because adobe house, and you had a metal roof, and in between the adobe and the metal, you didn't have anything. Sometimes you got birds coming in, but that's how we lived. That's where we lived. So a lot of the athletes that came out of there, once they got to the city, some didn't come back. Well, my family came back, and we wanted to continue to represent Safford. So I brought my family back. I went to Western New Mexico, loved it, but it wasn't home. Home to me is where I can walk down to Walmart, because that's our supermart, you know what I'm saying? We go to Walmart, and I can see people in there, and I know who they are. So to me, that's a good thing. I like to know people. I like to talk to people. I'm very social. And at Western, I wasn't homegrown. So although I got to talk to a lot of people, and Miss Roebuck was there with me, although we got to talk to a lot of people and touch a lot of people's hearts and stuff through sports, it still wasn't the same as coming home. So that's why I came home. As soon as my son was old enough to come to school, I knew I was coming back here. So that's why I'm back. So for ever since I left Western New Mexico, I have wanted to help people. So my profession is I'm the Deputy Chief Probation Officer here in Graham County. Been doing it for 25 years come November 21st. Could have retired 4 years and so many months ago. But it's not like a job to me. It's like a calling to me, so I continue to do it. You hear people that say they're married to their work. I'm one of those people. My wife will tell you, I get up in the morning, every morning at 5 o'clock. I have my coffee, sitting outside, cold or hot, doesn't matter. I'm always outside drinking my coffee. I come back in, I turn the TV on for a little bit, listen to a little bit of the news. I turn the TV off, I go in, kiss my wife, tell I'm headed out. I go out to Circle K, I get another cup of coffee, and then I go to work. I open up the shop every day. Every day, you can count on me being the first one there. I'm always gonna be there. I'm not late. I don't believe in being late. If you tell me to do something, I do it, okay? So I open it up every day. I do my time. I don't take lunch. I work through because I also coach. So as soon as I get done, 3 o'clock rolls around, they know my computer is going to be black because I'm out. I'm headed out to the school. My kids get out of school at 3:10. We're on the track by 3:15, 3:20. We're conditioning by 3:30. We're done by 4. We're in the wrestling room. We're doing our calisthenics. And from there, we start drilling. We start practicing, start our hand fighting and stuff like that. And then we go right into live competition. And that goes on till about 5:30. 5:30 rolls around, we do what we call warm downs. We get in there, it's push-ups and sit-ups. You can't help yourself if you're not doing your core work. So we do push-ups and sit-ups every day. We do 4 sets of 25 on a rotating basis. You go 25 push-ups, 20, and let me tell you before I get to that, I always make them start over. So sometimes it might be in the middle of the second set of push-ups, or it might be in the second set of crunches. I'm going to make them start over. I don't care how perfect you are. You can't be too perfect. So that 100 that they're supposed to do in a day ends up being about 150, sometimes 200 if I have a guy complaining. So they're going to do push-ups, regardless of what they think. They can be sick, wrist hurt, they're doing push-ups. Then after that, I'll talk to parents if they come by, because right now we have closed room because of COVID. So there's no one allowed in the room. Usually I have to put bleachers in there because everybody's in there. But this year, we haven't had any parents in the room. So I let practice out. It's usually about 5:45. I stay around till about 6. I go and pick up a drink for my grandbaby, and she's waiting for it. It's cranberry lemonade from Sonic. I take that to her every day. She gets that every evening before she eats dinner. And then from there, I go home to my wife. If it's my day to cook, I cook. If it's her day to cook, I'm ready to eat. So I make sure that stays consistent all the way through. Some say I should be in the military because I like things done a certain way, and I like to follow that, and it just makes my life easier. So basically what I want to try to get through to you guys is there's going to be some bumps in the road. But if you stay consistent, regardless of what the bumps are, if you stay consistent and true to yourself, you can accomplish anything you want. Anything you want. When I came out of high school, they're like, he has to wrestle. He's too short. That's all he can do is wrestle. Okay, they forgot that I was a 4-sport athlete in high school. I can do whatever I want. So since they were pushing me away from football, I went and played football. So that's how I ended up at Western New Mexico. They tell me I can't do something, and I want to show them that I can. So Miss Roebuck and I were on the same page. We want to be the best at what we do. So we were at Western together, we got inducted into the Hall of Fame together. That means we did something right. We had a driving force outside of our sports. If you have something that you want to accomplish, you just have to know what you want. You just have to put the best foot forward. If you can do that, you can accomplish anything. I don't want to be the president, but I mean, if that was in the making, I would sure be doing some political stuff. You know what I'm saying? I can't be the president if I'm down on Main Street watching everybody drive by. I have to be getting my foot through the door some sort of way. So if you guys are looking to go on to a university to make a name for yourself, it all starts right here. If you start doing the right things now, it's so much easier when you get to the university. This is the hardest part of your life because JUCO is tough. It's tough. It's a lot easier, for me anyways, it was a lot easier for the university. Once you get to the university, it's a lot easier. Although, when you're at the JUCO level, you have instructors that really care. At the university level, they don't care if you come to class or not. At the end of the day, your butt's not in that seat, you're not getting a grade. Here, they might know you because, hey, that kid might be on the baseball team, but he's not coming. Let me call coach. Hey, so-and-so's not in class today. Is he okay? What? What do you mean he's not in class? Then coach gets after you, and then you're in class every day after that, right? So university is not like that. They hold you accountable for your own schooling. So you have to make sure that's something that you're ready for. And in JUCO, that's what they prepare you for, is to be self-sufficient. It is the best time of your life right now in college because once you get into the workforce, it's an everyday grind. Going to work, punch a clock. I'm glad I don't punch a clock, but some jobs you do. You have to go in, you have to make sure you're accountable, so you punch a clock. Might want to take that lens cap off. No. Do you guys have any questions for me? I can answer anything. I'm open. I don't have to go to work. If you keep me here, I don't have to go to work. If you don't answer any questions, I got to go back to work. Yes, sir. How old am I? How old do you think I am? I'll tell you. Huh? Dang, dog, really? What? 52. Close, but not, yeah, close. He said 60. Was I limping when I came up here? You saw me throw that cane down. That's all right. Yeah. Oh, no, actually, she's a lot younger than me because I started late. She like in her 40s. It was tough because everything, so I revert back to my dad. So my dad, when he was coming up through high school, he couldn't go to any restaurants. There's no restaurants that would serve black people, so we always got good home cooking. That's probably why he thought I was 60. Still got a little bit of it. But yeah, you couldn't go into any restaurants. Stores you could, but you had to go to the back door and tell them what you want, that sort of thing. The only store that would allow a black person in was Ideal Market, and it's not here anymore. But that was the store that we got all our groceries at. And ironically, Ralph Montoya, my wife's grandpa, was the only person that owned a restaurant that would have a black person in it. So growing up in Safford was a little tough at first, and then you can see all the changes starting to occur, you know. Although I will say, we always have parades. I mean, we have parades. We have parades for everything. So it started off with one Dixie flag, then Dixie flag and a horse, then a Dixie flag and Sons of the Confederate, and that was 2 Dixie flags and a few horses, and then it ended up being like a whole, I don't know, 15, 20 horses, Dixie flags all over it, Confederate uniforms, that sort of thing. But I don't really think they take into account that the population that are black actually knows what that means. So it's kind of like rubbing salt in a wound, but hey, they allow it. So I'm right there on Main Street before we moved to our new office. We were right on Main Street, and they come right by my office to get into the parade. So I got to see it all the time. And then I'm like, wow, more and more every day. So growing up, like in high school, it was great. We didn't have to worry about that because our coaches were on top of everything. If we got disrespected, they would take care of us. We never had to worry about getting disrespected, especially because we were winning all the time. So it was very easy for them to disrespect us if they wanted to, but they weren't. It was very nice. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Be me. Never be a follower. Always be a leader. And that was from my grandma. And let me tell you about my grandma. She's actually the one who taught me how to fight. She taught me how to lift weights. She taught me how to take care of all her animals. So my grandma died when she was 95. When she died how she wanted to, smoking Pall Mall cigarettes and Camels unfiltered. She did it since she was 12. And all her daughters been smoking since they were 12. So yeah, that's the best advice I got. Be yourself. Say that again. Well, that's what I mean. Here at Safford, we didn't have that. We were always together. So my dad and him transitioned from Little Hollywood to Safford High School. That was a little tougher transition because people weren't getting to play that they normally got to play. So their parents were up in arms because these black kids or the Hispanic kids were coming in, taking their spot. So it was a little mess until they won that first state championship. And then after that, eyes got big and, everybody was on board after that. So it was just a little rough, but nothing major. Yes, ma'am. My college self now? Make sure you hang on to that woman. Nah, I'm kidding. I still have her. I'm just kidding. No, I would tell myself, I wouldn't change anything about what I did. Everything I did to try to be the best. I did it to set an example for my kids so they can be able to look back and say, hey, my dad did that, and hopefully they can follow through. So I wouldn't change anything about college. Yes, sir.
Why wasn't your father given a chance to be the head baseball coach?
Oh, you hear that? That is history right there. So let me tell you about that. My dad came back from from getting drafted for baseball. That's incredible. He came back to take the Safford High School baseball job. They told him as long as he is a black man, he cannot coach baseball. So to prove them that he was a great coach, he took track and field because that was the only thing that was open at that time. And he wanted to be a head coach. So he took track and field, and the rest is history. He's been winning ever since. And they tried to get him to go back like 13 years after he was coaching track and field. And it was like, nah, I'm not good enough to coach baseball. I'll keep coaching track and field. So he's been doing that for 45 years. Good question. So I got the ball, and he said I would get the ball only on punts and kickoff returns. until I can prove that I can be a blocker. And then he put me in at receiver. And so I proved to him that I could do it, so he gave me the rock. But yeah. Yes, sir. My dad's a quarterback. Ironically, he graduated at 119 pounds, 5'9", 119. He was a quarterback. He had the scoring record in basketball until, like, you can look it up. He had the scoring record in Arizona history for a long time until they brought in the three-point line. He held that. He can come across half court. He got this little funny little J. Toes point like that. He can still hit them. He still show the kids at the school he can still hit. And he's 72, so still working. He's still working. Yes, sir. What's that? Your coach? Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask the principal at Stafford High School, who's faster at a 100-yard dash right now, you or your dad?
Oh, I'm always faster. Ask him. He'll tell you. He'll try to cut it down to 20. And I can tell you this, not one kid at Stafford High School can outrun me. And I'm 52. I'll put money on that. I still got it. I might pull a hamstring, but I'm winning. Even if it's a cross check, I'm winning. I don't lose. Yes. Let me have it. Mm-hmm. So if I was in college in today's time, I'm not the guy that's going to go out and cause a lot of problems. But if I was having any injustice to me, I would go out and talk to my mentor, which would be my coach. So if I was having issues, I would come right to my coach and say, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. What do we do from here? You know, you don't have to be that person that's like, you don't tell, you know, I'm not that guy. I mean, I am aggressive, but I'm not crazy. I'm not trying to get arrested for nothing. I'm not trying to put nothing on my name. If I have an issue, my first line of defense for me is going to be my coaches. So, especially because you're out here by yourself. How many of you guys have your parents travel out with you? Not very many, right? So that is the person that's going to be taking care of you. Your coaches are the ones that are looking out for you because you're not at home with your parents. So if anything is happening, I don't care if it's a breakup. That's not just right. I'm going to go talk to my coaches. Maybe they can turn me to the right person to talk to. It's not something you want to take on by yourself. The marches are great. I'm not that guy. I'll watch from home, okay, but I'm not that person. If I have any troubles, I'm going to go talk to that person, try to get through it without having to bust them up. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to go out and be aggressive. I can go with my coaches or administration. You can get with your administration. They know what's going on. Just give them a chance to help you. Give them a chance to help. I saw you raise your hand with your paper. What were you going to say? No. You? Oh. Okay. It's a very nice day today. No one else have any questions? Oh, hi.
Maybe speak on like kind of who don't have coaches and they don't have that support system. Let's say you didn't have that support system, where would you go to? Turn to your family, towards your
Who helps you set up your class schedules? Okay, that's where I would turn to. You just go to the next step. If you don't have a coach that's helping you do that, then you just move up the ladder and it's going to be your counselor. And if the counselor's not available, there's got to be someone in your dorm, right? Are you staying in the dorms?
No.
Okay. So you're off campus. So if you're off campus, you cruise into one of these very nice buildings, that first person right there, hey, I need some help. I guarantee you they'll turn you to the right person. It's not just about the coaches. If you need help, just find an adult and talk to them. I know one person that I would tell you to go to that's going to be around, that man right there, Mr. Klontz. If you guys are having any issues, you just got to go talk to Mr. Klontz. He'll point you to the right direction. Okay? He not just going to put handcuffs on you. He'll help you. Okay? That's what we're here for. We're here to help you guys get to the next level. If that means we have to counsel you over and over or help you get through it, that's what we do. You don't find people in this profession that don't care about you. So everybody in this profession truly cares about your well-being. So if you're having any kind of issues, find someone. Call me. I'm over at the probation department. You call me anytime. I answer my phone all the time. I answer it. I promise you I answer it. Sometimes I don't want to, but I answer it. Just find someone that cares. Good question. Yes, sir.
Being with probation, you get to see a lot of community members work in the community. What would you say is something that we can do here in the Hill Valley to make this community a better place for welcoming place?
Just respect each other. That's what it comes down to. Showing your neighbor respect. So we have this thing when we're out on the field or fishing or hunting, because that's what we do in our off time is fish and hunt. So if we're out there hunting or fishing and somebody's broke down, we always stop to help. And then and I know this is cliche and I know you've heard it, but paying it forward is the best thing you can do. It is the absolute best thing you can do. And it'll come back to you. So if we find somebody broke down on the lake, we're cruising by and we see them sitting there trying to start the boat or whatever, we'll tow them in. And then they'll be like, oh, man, let me get to my truck and I'll give you some money. Nah, you don't have to give me any money. Just pay it forward. You see somebody else broke down, help them out. And that'll be payment for me. So, and we do that all the time. I mean, all the time. If you can do that, you'll see that you'll get a lot of good stuff. And it's that karma thing coming back. Karma's you know. Yes, sir. I'm going to come sit by you, dog. I like you. Yeah, I like you. What's up? Love each other. Hold up, man. I said respect each other. I didn't even go there. I said respect each other. How do you respect someone that don't respect you? So I'm sitting out there on the sidewalk when the parade comes by. The Sons of the Confederate are coming by. I still wave. Right? I mean, I respect that they have enough guts to do that. I mean, I might not respect what they're doing, but I'm not going to disrespect them as a person. I'm still going to put my hand up and say, hey, if it don't slap me in the face, it ain't hurting me. Just be you. You play basketball? You want to go one-on-one? What? Huh? Just because I wrestle don't mean I can't play. I'm telling you. I ain't messing with y'all, though. Y'all, no, I ain't even going there. I'm going to leave it. That was a wrestling move. I was just trying to make it a basketball move, but it's wrestling. You going to try to dunk on me, huh? Yeah? I'll tackle you. Yeah. You ain't dunking on me, I'll tackle you. Yeah. No more? Mr. Cersei? No?
So I
So my kids are different. They wear their heart on their sleeve. I don't know where they get that from, but I don't know. So how I would answer this is, it goes back to that you have to be you, and you can't be a follower. If I'm getting angry at things that are around me, then I shouldn't be there. I should take myself away from that and just try to be as positive as I can. So when I wake up in the morning, I probably don't want to get up at 5, but I beat the alarm up every day. And my wife hates it, but I do every day. I get up, I know what I'm going to do during the day. I try to see if I can touch somebody in a positive way every day. And that's why I'm working probation. So I do the same thing when I'm coaching. If I can show a kid a move or a technique and they can perform it, and they don't even know they just did it until they come off and we're like, you just did this, and then their eyes pop open, that's what it's all about. I love that. And every coach in here would say the same thing. That's the reason why we do what we do, is because when those kids decide, hey, I just did that. We've been practicing this for 6 months, never had an opportunity to do it, and then it just happened and I didn't even know I was doing it. That's what it's all about. So me being positive is just waiting for that one moment to see that kid grow. And I think that's why my dad has so much success, and you know that, is because he's involved in every aspect of the kids coming through. If their grades are down, he's on them. If they have a breakup, he's on them. So him leaving the school next year is going to be tough for me because he's actually my ears in the school and my eyes in the school. But I think it's just because we care, and we let them know by example that we care. So it's a lot easier to do what we do because we care. Does that make sense? Yeah. Come on now. Yes, sir.
How has your competitive spirit served you throughout your life?
Well, at home, not so good. Because I am not allowed to play any board games. I am not allowed to do any kind of Zoom games because I hate to lose. I really do. And my wife, she is not athletic at all. She never played a sport. She does not understand why I'm so crazy when it comes to playing games. We play against family members on Zoom, and oh man, I just watch because I can't play. I get mad, and the game charade, I can't do that. That's like a dummy game to me. I can't handle that. If you don't get what I'm demonstrating, something's wrong, because I ain't wrong. I don't do, my competitiveness is just, I don't know, it's, if you hear my wife talk, she tells a pretty good story. I just can't do easy. I don't know how to just go easy. It's either 100 or nothing. So 9 times out of 10 for me and family, it's nothing because they won't invite us back. Yeah. We have family out in Shreveport now. Still, we have, tons of family out in Shreveport. We have property out there. We have a big red barn on our property and ponds and stuff on our property, and we have our family get-togethers out there. Every family but ours. They can't handle us when we go out there. And I can't understand them, so we're even. But yeah. No? Everybody good? All right. Well, I'm Herman again. I work at the probation department. If you guys ever get in a pinch or need anything, just holler. I'll come running. I ain't scared. All right? Thanks for having me.
It is now our pleasure to hear Anissa Whitfield speaking about the history of Black lives. Next will be by Solomon Navarro and Ada Brown singing and rapping Glory by John Legend. Finally, we will have Solomon Navarro and her teammates sing Hallelujah by Andrea Berkey.
After the special numbers, we'll be honoured to hear closing remarks from Dr. Susan Wood, EAC's Vice President of Academic and Student Affairs. After the closing remarks, please stay for a group picture.
On behalf of being a part of the Black Student Union and Black community, I would like to show my appreciation to everyone who showed up for today's Black History Month ceremony to learn more about the history of Black community. In today's world, we are still facing the challenges that were made back in slavery. I'm nervous. History is often reduced to a handful of memorable moments and events. As our ancestors were forced to serve for the white to make them rich and happy, African Americans, my ancestors, had to run, hide, and march to get out of slavery. We go through this in today's world, being discriminated by the color of our skin, same problem, different era. Without African Americans, we would be without jazz, rap, hip-hop, etc. There's a quote that stated, "Laundry should be the only thing that is separated. No one should be separated just by the color of our skin. We all bleed red." They say all lives matter, but our lives never mattered, from slavery to poverty to police brutality. I'm an 18-year-old woman who has seen the difference between how we get treated for our races. I fear for my 2-year-old nephew for what he sees while he grows up to be a Black man in America. I want to challenge you today to take this Black History Month and think of and think of our place in history today. Black History is a month of which we honor historical Black women and men who paved the way for our generations and our generations after us. Thank you for coming and enjoy the rest of the ceremony.
Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against, yes, glory is destined. Every day women and men become legends. Sins that go against our skins become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is just a position in us. Justice for all just ain't pacific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. That's why I rose and sat on the bus. Hey, that's why we walked through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stand down, and we stand up. Shots, we on the ground, the camera panned up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, glory. I heard there's a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, her beauty and the moonlight overthrew ya. She tied you to her kitchen chair, she broke you down, she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
was amazing. Students, one more just round of applause for our absolutely amazing students. I am so glad I am here today. This has been just wonderful, a wonderful way to spend an hour. I am somebody who loves to learn, and I've learned a lot today. Thank you so much, Mr. Andrews. Another round of applause for Mr. Andrews. I'm going to take 30 more seconds of your time. The man who started this, kind of the pioneer of Black History Month, is a man by the name of Carter Woodson. And he was born in the early 1900s, and he was able to go to school 4 months out of the year. And he still taught himself English, he taught himself math, he ended up with a master's degree and a doctorate. And he started this back in 1926. It was a week long, and it turned into an event that happens in the month of February, federally recognized all over the United States because of this man, Carter Woodson. So he's somebody that we also need to give a hand to. I feel privileged to be here today. I feel privileged to be a part of this event. I want to thank you. We do have group pictures, and we also have monster cookies. So be sure you grab one, students. And again, thank you. And remember, this is an important month. It's the whole month of February. And so celebrate it, and let's work together. Thank you.